It is Apple event day, and Apple just announced the brand new iPhone 16 and 16 Pro models. The iPhone 16 does get a slight design change with the updated camera array, but the iPhone 16 Pro looks very similar, almost identical to the iPhone 15 Pro. Despite the minor cosmetic differences in the new devices, there are a few other changes underneath the hood as well. So let's go ahead and talk about the brand new iPhones, talk about what's different, and even answer the most important question: should you upgrade? Looking at the iPhone 16 Pro, you're going to be hard-pressed to find a real design difference at first glance between it and the 15 Pro. The outside titanium frame does have a new microblasted texture, which is slightly different from the brushed texture of the 15 Pro. Even 3 of the colors are transferring over from the 15 Pro, including white, black, and natural. And of course, there is that new desert finish that replaces the blue finish from last year. The only other design change to the iPhone 16 Pro that you're going to notice is the addition of the new camera control button, which sits right underneath the home button and replaces that ultra wideband window thing. The camera control button has a number of functions built in to give you control of the camera at a fingertip's reach. You can use it to bring up AI tools to find out more information about a restaurant you're in front of, or find out what kind of dog is in front of you. You can also use it to slide your finger back and forth to adjust camera controls manually, including the aperture or even the zoom. What's interesting is that the camera control is actually a tactile switch, so it actually moves, which is counter to what all the rumors said, but it's also touch sensitive on the top. This is the second year in a row that Apple has added a functional button to the side of an iPhone, and I'm not quite sure how I feel about it. See, I was really excited about the action button last year on the iPhone 15 Pro. That gave us the ability to quickly launch things like the camera or the flashlight or really anything with shortcuts. Mine has really turned into a flashlight button, which I do use pretty regularly, but I'm actually disappointed overall. I thought that this button was going to be something I would use a lot more for other things. It feels like with the placement, it might be kind of a nuisance and easily triggered on accident when you're not meaning to. Like when I pull my iPhone out of a pocket, I'm probably going to end up opening the camera or the AI assistant more often than I actually want to. But yes, I know Apple does a really good job at palm rejection on trackpads and on the iPads, so maybe it's something I don't even need to worry about at all. Of course, because it is new, I am excited to try it out and see how it works and let you guys know. But right now, I'm not quite sure about it. As far as the camera goes on the iPhone 16 Pro, there are a couple of differences. The main camera, though, is still a 48 megapixel main sensor, although Apple is calling it a fusion sensor now because it does the same thing it did on the iPhone 15 Pro, where you can automatically crop into different portions of the sensor to get different focal lengths. But the ultra wide is getting a decent upgrade this year, moving up to a 48 megapixel sensor, which is going to be really nice for those wide angle shots or even those macro shots. And both iPhones this year are also getting that 5x tetraprism zoom lens, which is awesome because I use that thing all the frickin' time on my iPhone 15 Pro Max. You can just get so much more reach with that 5x zoom lens. I use it all the time. I loved it for my daughter's volleyball games so I can actually capture people's faces instead of just blobs running around a court. On the inside of the 16 Pro, we do have that brand new Apple A18 Pro system in package. That is a new 6-core CPU with 2 performance cores, a new 6-core GPU, and a new 16-core neural engine. This is a second generation 3nm process, which should come with improvements to performance and battery life. This can lead up to 2 times better performance and ray tracing graphics compared to the iPhone 17 Pro, and up to 15% faster CPU performance, all while using up to 20% less energy. And that's great because, battery life. And Apple says that the iPhone 16 Pro Max will get up to 33 hours of battery life for video playback compared to 29 hours on the iPhone 15 Pro Max. And that's a pretty decent jump, and that video playback doesn't really mean anything, but it should give you a bit more battery, and that's nice. That's the thing that we all want. But the A18 Pro also has a new video encoder built in, which allows you to do up to 4K 120 video, which is awesome. That's a feature that everybody's been looking for, to be able to capture high frame slow motion video. The only thing I'm not sure about is if you still will need external storage on the iPhone to record that high frame rate 4K log footage. And speaking of the USB-C port, Apple did say that the USB 3 speeds on the new iPhones will be faster, whatever that means. Moving on over to the iPhone 16 and 16 Plus. Like I said, the new iPhones do get a new vertical camera alignment, kind of like we had on the iPhone 12. They come in some new colors this year, including ultramarine, teal, pink, and of course white and black. Other than that, the iPhone 16 will look basically the same as the 15 except for the addition of that camera control button, just like the iPhone 16 Pro. The screen seems to be about the same on the iPhone 16 as it is on the 15, except it does have that new ceramic shield, which is, I guess, 50% harder or better than the previous version, so, that's nice. But it does still get up to 1000 nits of peak brightness for regular viewing, up to 1600 nits for HDR, and up to 2000 nits when viewing outside. So, great screen, still no complaints, other than it's still just being 60 hertz. When it comes to cameras, the main camera seems to be about the same as it was last year. It's a 48 megapixel sensor, and Apple is calling this a fusion sensor or fusion camera as well, which also does that 2x crop onto the image sensor to get you that 2x zoom. The ultra wide camera on the 16 and 16 Plus now lets in more light, up to 2.6 times more light, and now allows you to do macro shooting, where you could only do that with the Pro cameras in previous years. Inside the 16 and 16 Plus is a new Apple A18 chip, unlike the A18 Pro that's in the iPhone 16 Pro. With the A18 chip, it is a 6-core CPU, a 5-core GPU, with a 16-core neural engine that is up to 2 times faster than previous versions. And just like the A18 Pro, it does have a 17% faster memory bandwidth to help with Apple Intelligence and other tasks along the way. Apple says the A18 is about 30% faster than the iPhone 15. Oh, I do want to point out that both the iPhone 16 Pro and iPhone 16 both have new thermal designs that should help the iPhones perform better at sustained workloads, up to 30% on the iPhone 16, and I think up to 20% on the iPhone 16 Pro. That is the bulk of the newness on the new iPhone 16 and 16 Pro, and it doesn't feel like a whole lot. There are some other changes inside software-wise, especially for the 16 Pro, when you start talking about camera features and different recording options. And although all of those things look pretty cool, I'm not sure how they're going to fit necessarily into my daily life, but I will test them out and try them and see what I think. I think that some of those features are going to be pretty niche, like the voice layering feature inside the Voice Notes app, but I'm sure some people will get a lot of use out of it. Apple did also announce a new MagSafe charger, and for some reason, it took them 4 years to come up with a 2-meter design. But the new MagSafe charger also charges at up to 25 watts on the back of your iPhone, as long as you have a 30-watt charger or higher. And of course, the question, should you upgrade? Well, if you want Apple Intelligence or the Apple Intelligence features that are going to be coming this year, next year, and beyond, then yeah, you should probably think about upgrading to the new iPhone 16 or 16 Pro. If you're wondering if you should upgrade for a faster device, well, I mean, if you have an iPhone 13 or later, then yeah, you're probably going to see some pretty decent speed gains. If you have an iPhone 14 or an iPhone 15 and not worried about using Apple Intelligence, then you're probably not going to see a big jump in performance. Unless, of course, you're trying to play those AAA games on your iPhone that require hardware ray tracing. If you have an iPhone 12 and your battery really sucks, yeah, you should probably think about upgrading. If you're tired of using dongles to get video out or to connect an SSD to your iPhone, maybe it's time for a USB-C iPhone. But for a lot of you, if your phone is working just fine for you, it's fast enough, and the battery gets you through the day, and you don't really care about Apple Intelligence, especially since most of the features won't be available for some time, then maybe just stick with what you have for the moment. After all, it's just a tool to get things done, right? That's what everyone says. It's just a tool. Well, sometimes a faster, better tool gets the job done better, but it's a tool nonetheless. Now, if you do have a laptop or desktop setup and you need a tool for that, that's where channel partner CalDigit can come in handy. The Thunderbolt Station 4 is the Swiss Army knife of desktop docks, and with 18 ports of connectivity, it has features for every type of user. First up, this dock works with multiple displays, including up to dual 6K displays on Mac, and even high refresh rate displays at up to 240 Hertz, depending on what your computer supports. So productivity gurus who need multiple displays, artists who want pixel perfect colors, or gamers who want that fastest refresh rate can all take advantage of the TS4. If you're a video maker, the Thunderbolt 4 ports on the back give you access to the fastest external storage available, and front side SD card slots make it easy to offload your footage. If you're a lab technician or podcaster or music maker, there are so many USB-A and USB-C ports that you won't have any problems connecting all of your specialized equipment to get your job done. For all types of users, there's a front USB-C port that provides up to 20 watts of power to charge up your phone or other devices, even when your computer is not connected. And if you need a super fast wired Ethernet connection, there's a 2.5 gigabit Ethernet connection on the back to make your internet more reliable, video calls lag-free, and it can even make backing up your Mac faster. So no matter what type of user you are, the TS4 can help you get things done. And you can learn more about the TS4 using the links in the description below. And my thanks to CalDigit for sponsoring this video.